Imagine, if you will, sitting down to your morning coffee, turning on your home computer to read the day's news.
Yo, it's your boy Zeta Don, and we are back at it again with another episode of Inspired Empire Podcast. Today we got this one's gonna be real special because we got my friend here, Will Bruce, and he's been somebody that's real special to our friend group. He's a mentor for kids who play football, and as well, he has a really high football IQ. He's very supportive. He's at every game. He's played ball with us as well. And he wanted to come on today and talk about mental health, right?
Yes, what I wanted to talk about today was mental health and how it pertains to our identity and how it affects us in our lives on a daily basis. Like, knowing who you are can help you become mentally healthy.
Mm-hmm. So, why is that important to you, though?
From a personal reason is, for literally like 2 decades of my life, I did not believe I was that special or that good of a human being. Mm-hmm. Not that I wasn't a kind or good human being, but I was just going by, just resting on my laurels, not doing anything particularly special. Even though, yes, I coach football and I help young men reach some goals or, make friends on the football field or, whatever it may be. But I just felt like, no, I'm not reaching where I think I should be. And a lot of that came back from when I was younger. I was never really doted on heavily.
Right.
Like, I come home, be like, hey, I got a B+ on my physics test. And my mom would go, well, okay, that's great, but he got an A on his algebra 2. So I was always feeling like I was a second rate and never really up to that high level. So for years and years, I would just let that fester in my brain until I believed it. Then, and I can't remember when this happened, when we had the emancipation meeting with Solo, Taylor, Ghost, Greg, Graham, all of them.
Yep.
That right there is like, Solo straight called me on that bullshit. I remember he's like, dude, Will, we can all see through it.
Right.
What is really going on with you? He's like, just talk with us, man. It's fine. We're family. We're friends. And it never really dawned on me that I had somebody like that in my life that I could talk with.
Yeah.
So my life didn't change overnight, but it definitely changed my views on how to really perceive myself and who I really was.
Right.
So I practiced daily. Like, what do you like about yourself today? It's like, I'm going to work.
Right.
I'm dependable. Next day, what's new? I got killer blue eyes. And amongst all those other things. Till eventually I reprogram my brain, be like, this is who you really are.
Right.
And then I'm in such a better mental place right now than I was when I was 21 to like 32.
Right.
So,
man, that's crazy. And I forgot that you were there too for that emancipation, because I was there. I remember that when Solo did call you out. Shout out to Solo, by the way, because I think that meeting actually changed everybody's lives, honestly. Me, you, Zach, Graham, Greg, everybody that was there, it was like we all just did a whole 360 after that meeting. And
absolutely.
I think we need to do another one, to be honest, because
let's go back to Tsunami. That place was delicious.
That was dope, man. And like, to hear you say that, you know what I'm saying? Because I remember it like it was yesterday. He did call you out, and ever since that's happened, I have seen you do a whole complete 360. Because I do remember seeing you, and we'd all talk about, like, man, I'm like, I hope he's okay. You know what I'm saying? I don't want him to feel like we don't care about him or anything like that. You know? So, and that's just some, like, for you to do that for yourself and have those daily affirmations, that's real important, man. That's real important.
Because I'll tell you straight, like, it was close a couple times.
Yeah, I feel you. Because I remember you expressing it at the table that day, you know what I'm saying, of how you were feeling.
It was just close because it was like, dude, is this feeling in my head and my heart just ever going to go away? And I didn't see an end.
I feel like a lot of people go through the emotions, though, and they don't talk about it. That's the biggest thing. Because, like, there's people in our group that's like that, and they still don't talk about it. They won't admit to it. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of in denial about it. You know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's not easy.
For anybody.
No, it's not easy to sit there and look at yourself and be like, I really need to talk about this. Or where am I currently sitting on, like, the levels of, am I good or am I bad? Right. It's hard to recognize, and it's hard to reach out because hey, as a man, you're like, I don't want to appear weak. when really asking for help is one of the strongest things you can do.
Right. And that was another thing we talked about at that table, is like, why don't we lean on each other? Mm-hmm. You know, because like I feel like for me, I was in that same boat too. Like I was going through something mentally. It wasn't like, oh, I didn't feel confident in myself, but it was just like, if I go to work every day and I hate my job, and you know what I'm saying, that's a reflection of me, and I feel shitty as a person every day because I keep going to this job, and so it was like, so change it. So I quit my job, and ever since then it's just like I never look back. I kind of fucked myself over by quitting my job.
Yeah.
But like, as far as just quitting and you know what I'm saying, finding a different venture, if I didn't quit and do those things, I wouldn't be the person I am today.
Yeah, and that's a big thing too. Like, you got to put yourself in that environment that will healthily build you up.
Right.
All right, I'll go back to one of my favorite cases ever. Was this kid I coached my first year. His name was Sean Goodmanson. Love you, Sean. I'm going to send this video to you after. It was his freshman year, and I could tell like day one, I'm like, okay, this kid's physical. He's long. He's got a good body for the game. Let's make him offensive tackle. And he did really, really well.
Right.
Next, let's see, his sophomore year, he didn't really get a whole lot of varsity time, but you know, you're a sophomore, and at that program at Logan, if you're a sophomore starting, you're something else. But his junior year, he got some serious playing time.
Right.
And then his senior year, he started as the right tackle. Oh no, my bad, he was left tackle because he was guarding the front side of our quarterback. And after the season, they ended up losing quarterfinals. It sucked, but they had a great year, and the kids all loved each other, and they had a blast.
Right.
He came to me, and we talked a bit, and he's like, dude, I'm going to tell you, Coach, I was going to quit after my freshman year. I was only playing my freshman year because my parents made me. He's like,
that's a big thing.
Yeah, and he's like, but you got on my case, you pushed me to believe in myself, and you put me in a spot to where I could excel. He's like, and I started to have fun.
Right.
He's like, thank you, you know?
So, I mean, with you having, you know what I'm saying, you feeling like you had this mental headspace, how does it make you feel when you help kids that play football? Like, how does that make you feel better?
Yes, I do still, like, I do get a lot of enjoyment and fulfillment from seeing kids either reach or jump for their potential, whether they get it or not, you know. That's regardless. I like seeing the effort.
Right.
But what I enjoy seeing most from the kids and how they are, it was seeing their growth.
Right.
Like, I was like, this kid finally got the play. He's like, oh, that's how this play works. That's why I stepped this way instead of doing this. Just when that light clicks, it's a wonderful moment.
Right.
Or seeing them use football to, you know, make friends and networking, other things, you know.
Yeah.
Seeing the kids grow or the players grow is kind of the big reason why I did it. Not just because I love the sport. I love the sport of football.
Right.
We could talk all day about it. But seeing them grow it personally is the greatest joy I ever had as a football coach.
Yeah. Why is that, though?
Because because looking from the outside in at somebody grasping it or just growing and becoming who they think they should be or what they want to be, seeing them grow and fill in that frame, that spiritual, emotional frame,
right,
is the best feeling in the world.
I never looked at it like that. Because, like, for me, I ain't gonna lie to you, like, I hated, I played football I didn't play for myself, I played for my dad. I did it in a way to connect with my dad, too. So, you know what I'm saying? So I could relate to him when I moved here. So I didn't even really like football as much. I like watching it, but I didn't really enjoy playing it. And the coaches made me dislike it 10 times more. Like, I was like, I don't like these coaches. I don't like playing. But to hear you say that, you know what I'm saying, from the outside looking in, I feel like coaches back in the day were more just about win. And I feel like today's coaches are more like, we're going to build you as men rather than seeing you win a game. I'd rather you win in life than to win this game.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's cool that you're doing that, man. That's important.
Do you ever watch that Last Chance U on Netflix? Coach Jason Brown, the white dude from Compton.
Yeah, the one that played. He was at Kansas, right?
Yes, he was in Kansas. I think one of the greatest, like, he was the dude who was all about tough love.
Right.
Tough love, like, you motherfucker, you get your shit in gear, you know, like, this is the play, why are you fucking up on this? How do you have 2 Ds? How do you have what was he? He's like, how do you have an F and R? Draw a fucking circle. You know, like, he's like, that's, you know, that kind of person. I would have loved him as a coach.
Right.
But I remember specifically, he had like 3-4 players in a room, and he busted them for smoking weed.
Right.
And he put them on a point system, and he said, why do I need to keep you people around? So I win a few games? That's not what I'm here for.
Right.
My job is to get you out of here.
Right.
To get onto your life. So if you don't respect that enough and don't what did he say? If you don't respect that enough and don't love what we're doing enough, then I'm just gonna sign you out.
Right.
I'm gonna kick you out, and I don't want you here. And that really like stuck with me. He's like, why would I keep you studs around if you're just gonna mess around? Just to win a few games?
Right.
That's not what I'm here for.
Right. I understand that. Like, for me, because I wasn't gonna play after high school until I met Ghost. And then I went to the Rev, and that's where it all changed. Because it's more like I had a family, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm the oldest kid out of 2, but it's a big age gap between all of us. So,
wow.
like, you know what I'm saying? So, as far as family, like, I connected with everybody there. It was like I had an older brother. I've never had an older brother or anything like that. So, it was like I connected with people. And for me, mentally, just the team, it helped me as a person grow in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The Rev is definitely a very good program, and especially it is a very tight-knit group.
Yeah, very tight-knit group. And it's just like, if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for that group of people, I probably would not be the person I am today. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the identity, you know, like finding who you are. Like,
exactly.
And sports can help out with that. Sports can also destroy that.
Yeah. It's done both for me, but like, you have individuals that's like solo who call you out on your bullshit, like, hey man, like, what's going on with you? But like that, just saying, hey, how are you doing, can go a long way for a person.
You know, I think that's a sense that has saved more lives than anything else.
Yeah, for real, man.
Hearing "I'm here for you," that's incredible. It's a beautiful, loving, fulfilling feeling. You know, someone saying like, yeah, I'm here for you, man. You know, you're my brother, you're my sister, I love you, I'm here for you. But to have somebody say, hey, how are you? And be sincere.
Yeah, it's different.
It is, it hits so different.
It does something to you.
Yeah.
Like, in a weird way, because like how you were saying, us as men, we think that shit's soft. We're like, oh, that shit's soft. Like, I don't want to talk about my feelings. But it was like, that's a platform where I learned how to come to people like, hey, I'm dealing with this.
Yeah.
And we're all at football practice, and it's just different.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And especially, you know, the semi-pro dynamic is you really only see each other once a week, twice a week in pads, maybe. Right. But you see them, but you also get to see them like, hey, let's go to the bar afterwards, or let's go, let's go to the club, let's go hit up a restaurant or something. It's different than when you're in high school. Right. You don't have that opportunity when you're in high school.
You don't have to, because everybody wants to be a hard ass when you're in high school. You know what I'm saying? It's a different dynamic. But as you get older, man, I feel like all of us are kind of like big on mental health and want to be better people. We're all fathers, you know what I'm saying? You're engaged now, you know what I'm saying? She has kids, so you got to step up into that role, you know what I'm saying? And it's just different for everybody. And speaking on that, man, like, how has that been for your, you know what I'm saying, your mental?
I'll tell you straight. Tammy, my beautiful, loving fiance, she came into my life where I was dating around a little bit. Like, I was on Facebook singles groups. I was definitely on Tinder.
Everybody's always on Tinder, man. I get it. We all been there.
But I was dating around. Nothing ever really serious came from them. You know, like there's a couple fun dates, a couple fun nights, but nothing ever serious, you know? And I had almost resigned myself to be like, maybe I'm just not meant for a relationship, you know? He's like, I'm an awkward ass dude or whatever, just whatever the reasons. I got in my head a little bit. Right. And then her sister messaged me on Facebook and said, hey, my sister thinks you're cute. She doesn't have a Facebook. Here's her number. Would you like to talk with her? Here's her number. I was like, if anything, I get a few dates out of it, maybe a little more, who knows. And we started texting back and forth for a while. We went on our first date in February. Yeah, February. Went on like 2 dates. She broke up with me.
Oh snap.
Yeah, she's like, I want like certain things, and you're just not it.
Oh snap.
And I was just like, well, shit, at least I got a couple dates out of it.
Right.
She then texted me back. She's like, that wasn't fair to you. She's like, I want you to be a part of my life.
Right.
So we met up again on another date, talked things over, and like where we were expecting, like where we wanted. And I was like, I would actually like a serious relationship and see where it goes. And she said the same thing. Then kind of bounced those ideas back and forth. And then March 16th, that's the official date. Now I'll remember this because it's on video. We made it official.
Right.
And we just started hanging out more. I got to meet her kids, and like then I moved in, and this year I asked her to marry me, and she said yes. And that has actually put me in a much better spot than I ever thought I could be.
So it's like it happened when you most needed it. That's dope.
Yeah. Her sister messaged me at the right time.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
And she has really pushed me to become a better man, She helped me find, like, I was looking around for a new job. I was like, this one's not doing it for me. And I found this one. She's like, hey, go for it.
And she's supportive, like she just holds you down regardless, right?
She said, you go for it, And I got the job, and now things are going great with that.
Hey, man, that's good, man. Shout out to Tammy, man. Shout out to Tammy. That's dope, bro. So, I mean, as far as just your mental health, man, and you coming on here and expressing, I want to thank you for bringing that up, because that's what this podcast is about, kind of just being vulnerable, what I'm saying, letting people know that you're not ashamed to express yourself. That's the biggest thing. So I just want to thank you for bringing that up and, what I'm saying, coming on here and not being scared to talk. As far as, because we talked about trauma, I just kind of wanted to know, like, if you could go a little bit more deeper into, like, the trauma that made you feel that way, like, not confident.
All right, let's do it. I'm cool with that.
You cool with that?
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
I just want to make sure you're cool. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
There's something I learned about in life is, like, certain things, yes, I'll talk about. Certain things, no. But when it comes to, like, my growth as a human being and what actually really set me back,
right?
I have no issue, like, bringing that up and talking about it.
So, I mean, so I know, like, you brought up a segment of, like, you felt like you were always second. So, like, you had siblings, right? Like that.
So the easy version of my life story was my birth parents divorced when I was 5, I want to say, something like that. I don't know. That was like, oh my God, that was 30 years ago. They divorced when I was around that age. My mom remarried. And the guy she remarried is a straight up piece of shit. He liked to use me as his personal punching bag. I was like 5, 6 years old. He liked to. I was his target.
I feel you.
So that kind of set me back, and I'm like, oh God, angry adult of me, cover up. I couldn't take criticism because I always thought something else was going to come flying at me.
Right.
My birth dad, when he found out about that, he beat the hell out of that guy. But didn't do anything after that, so I was still stuck.
Still taking the punishment, pretty much.
I was going back and forth between my mom and dad, and eventually she divorced that dude. I don't know what set that off, but finally. Right. But my birth mom, while I knew to a level that she loved me because I was her son,
right,
she did not love me as much as she loved herself. So while I was a priority, I wasn't the priority in her eyes.
How old was your mom, like, when she had you?
Let's see. Let's see. I was born in 86. She was born in 58. So, like, 28 years old?
28.
Yeah, I want to say, like, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So, like, I've noticed when women are younger, you know what I'm saying, that statement that you made, like she didn't love me as much as she loved herself, you know what I'm saying? A lot of women at that age are like, I wouldn't say a midlife crisis, but like they're trying to find themselves, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's
no,
like,
I get you. And
yeah.
Absolutely. Like, now, knowing her and how she grew up, it was very much, even when she was a kid, like her sister told me all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
Like my aunt told me all sorts of shit. Like she was very much into me.
Right.
So it was ingrained in her from yay tall.
Right.
So
I get that. So, because, like, even for me, you know what I'm saying, I felt like as a kid, you know what I'm saying, I felt, even though my mom did do things for me, I did feel the same way, like, man, my mom doesn't love me, you know what I'm saying, as much as she loves herself. But as a kid, there was a lot of things that I didn't understand, and, you know what I'm saying, she never really spoke to me about anything. So it was like, we were at odds, but now that I'm older and I could talk to her, I understand a lot now. You know what I'm saying? Because my mom was young. So, and my mom had me when she was like 17.
Oh, wow.
So, like, we basically grew up together, like, in a way.
Oh, wow. So,
you know
yeah, it's like she was going, it was literally
like prom and stuff like that. She missed out on prom because of me, you know what I'm saying? So, certain stuff she missed out on, and she just wanted to experience life, you know? So, I felt like the same way. I was like, man, like, maybe, you know what I'm saying, I messed up her life or something like that, you know, in a way.
And I never really put into that thought. Well, I guess, more, like, I do see that through line, especially like coming from you, and like we kind of get that,
Yeah.
But let's see, I get that, and like as I said, that set me back mentally, and also she was, God rest her soul, she OD'd in 2000. It's like out of 2017 or 18, I can't remember which, but I got a call from her cousin. He's like, I know you two aren't talking right now, but it's not good. You need to come to California. You need to at least say your goodbyes. Yeah. So last time I physically saw her, she was a vegetable.
Yeah.
It was messed. Like the toxicology came back. It was like they found like 16 or 17 different things in her system. She was pretty much brain dead by the time they got to the hospital. Yeah. So at least I got to say goodbye to her. Right. So, but as she was dying there, I was like, if there was any way for you to go, and I think it would have been this. Right. And I was like, that's an unfortunate way to think about that.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. My condolences on that.
Thank you.
Like, just with that being said, because like you guys didn't speak, so like. I get you got to say goodbye, but like, did that do something to you mentally because you guys weren't speaking for a long time?
Not as heavy as I thought it would have. Like, I was definitely sad. Right. Like, it definitely, like, I definitely went into myself for a couple weeks. Wasn't really talking to anybody. It definitely hit me harder than I thought it would. Yeah. But because I was like, that's my mom right there.
You only get one. You only get
luckily
one.
Luckily I was adopted by two loving people, and they took me in when I was being a dumbass and set me right.
That's dope.
But at the same time, it's like, that's my mom right there. So that really like hurt, but not as bad as I thought it would have. Bad. My dad, on the other hand, my birthday, on the other hand, that I'm still working on that one, and that was over 2 years ago.
Yeah, and I remember that, man, and I'm sorry to hear about that one too, because I remember you telling me like he played a big part in your life, and you know what I'm saying, just growing up, and he was always supportive of you, pretty much.
Yeah, I'd say he's the one that dragged me out to football. He's the one that got me into sports. Hardest working man I think I've ever known in my life, and. I mean, he was also a literal giant. He was 6'8".
Really?
Yep.
Sheesh. He didn't play any like college ball or anything like that?
He actually did. He was an All-American forward at San Luis Obispo, Cal Poly.
6'8", and you didn't get none of it, huh? You didn't get any of the height.
My birth mom was 5'4".
Oh shit.
So I literally, we got the 6'8" dude here, 5'4". I'm right dead in the middle at 6 foot.
Damn.
And I'm looking down at my mom like, you couldn't have like grown like at least
Just
3
a
more
little
inches.
bit. I know. Hey, both of my parents are short as hell, so I already know how that goes, man. I'm like 5'4". My mom's like, I think my mom's 5'1". My dad's 5'6".
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I'm not even 5'6". I'm just 5'4", bro. It's terrible. It's terrible, bro.
Yeah. And then, but as I said, like that really like seeing them go, like that really cemented reality to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, you only have a certain amount of minutes.
Yep. Yeah, it's a short time, and like I always talk about it because I've had friends pass away. That's the whole reason why I did this podcast, and it's like, man, we got a limited amount of time, and it's like after that meeting that we had with Solo, it was like, I got to do something to better myself, you know what I'm saying, and the people around me, and just do something for people. That's why I kind of did the platform, just for people to come speak, like people like you know what I'm saying, to come and speak their mind, you know what I'm saying, and it's a safe space for them. You feel me? Like, but you know, I just kind of wanted to talk about you in a way. I'm actually glad that you reached out, and people don't know this, but Will, he reached out to me at the last minute. I had to cancel, and he reached out and said he wanted to come on. But I just want to like talk about you, because like how we talked about at that meeting, you know what I'm saying, people always ask you like, hey, how are you doing, you know? So I've never really got to sit down and talk about your life, and you know what I'm saying, understand you a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? And what has, you know what I'm saying, life in general been like for you since your parents have passed? Like,
It really has put a lot of things in perspective. Like, you know, I try not to I try not to get angry on the road anymore. I try not to snap at little things. I was like, dude, that means nothing. You know, me being kind and teaching a lesson to one of my stepkids, or showing up to work with a smile on my face, and like, yeah, let's go to work, you know.
You try to appreciate the smaller things, a little bit more.
Yep. I was out in Park City today when I messaged you, because that was my route. And there's a spot called Montage, beautiful hotel, like up in the hills, and you get an overview of the valley. So I don't care that people got mad at me. I parked on the side of the road, and I just stopped and I looked out the window just for like a minute or two, just to take it all in. It's gorgeous out there.
Yeah, just embracing it, man. Just taking it all in. That's dope. Cause like for even me, bro, I have a hard time embracing the little things. You know, like I'm so hard on myself all the time. I'm always beating myself down. I'm like, dang, I got a good family. I got a girl. You know what I'm saying? I got a son. Sometimes I take that stuff for I wouldn't say take it for granted, but like I don't think about it because I'm always in the moment.
Yeah.
You know?
Us being human, and we're prone to we're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna overlook certain things, and I definitely do it all the time. Yeah, every day, something I overlook. But I get what you mean, though. You're just like, wow, I got these wonderful things, and it's beautiful. And I think that's beautiful. I love looking at the pictures of you and your family. I was like, you got the cutest little boy, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. He's bad though. He's a shit. He's a little shit. I love him though, but he's a little shit. He's terrible, man. Terrible. But yeah, man, I think it's dope that you really, you know what I'm saying, that you, since that meeting, that you took time to yourself and, you know what I'm saying, worked on yourself and embraced life and just took time to celebrate the small things, because everybody forgets to do that. And I feel like that's a big mental piece for everyone, you know.
It's something I've really established for myself, like as Will Bruce, you know, somebody that enjoys the little things in life now.
Definitely.
That's part of my identity.
That's dope.
And I love it.
And, you know, as far as just mental health, when we talking about identity, do you feel like every day you catch yourself, you're like, you know what, I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I'm not doing the affirmations that I normally do for myself?
There's been definitely a couple days, sometimes even weeks, that I forget to do them, or remind myself, like, hey, you gotta say something nice about yourself, or what do you see that's beautiful today? And I can actually tell the difference between, it's like, you know, oh wow, I got to see a beautiful sunset today, sunrise. I work the nights and mornings. So I was like, I got to see a beautiful sunrise today in Park City. Not very many people get to do that. As compared to, I got to make this delivery. I got to go. And I can feel it as the day goes on. I'm like, I just feel sluggish.
Right. See, because like I struggle. The reason why I'm asking is because I struggle with that stuff. Like I struggle to be like, if something goes wrong, I will be so hard on myself to where I'm like, you can't change my mind. You know what I'm saying? I could be like, oh well, at least I got this. I'm just like, no, fuck that. I didn't get this. Like, because you even see me like football wise, like somebody like, oh, it was a good run. I'm like, no, I didn't get where I wanted to get to. Like it was a terrible run. Like that's how I am. I'm really hard on myself. So it's like I always have to ask people like, how do you? Because that's an ability I don't have. You know, so I'm like, how do you trick your mind to flip to take the affirmations and change your mindset?
It actually goes all the way back to the emancipation meeting we had, because that night, before I even went to bed, I was like, okay, I'm now facing the right direction. What do I need? He's like, what do I need to do? And I remember I sat there in bed and I looked up and like, I got a roof over my head.
Yeah,
that was the first one. That was the first positive thing affirmation I gave myself. It's like, I have a roof over my head. I went to bed, woke up the next day, and I said, I still got a roof over my head. And it just kind of cascaded from there, like that. But as a man and a human being, I mess up and I miss them. Yeah. Sometimes, as I said, now I've gotten to the point now because I've been doing it every day, sometimes multiple times a day, to where I try and get to that point in my brain where I at least tricked my brain, right, and be like, okay, you're positive today, right, you're good. That's something that became a part of my identity when I was like, I don't want to be back where I was before, right, where the idea of drinking a gallon of bleach was like the preferable way, or hey, we got a nice set of kitchen knives upstairs. Like it was getting dark for a long time. Yeah. And that's because, you know, as I going back to, you know, my mom's second husband liking to use me as a punching bag when I was 5-6 years old, to some of the places we were living were not good. Right. I was picked on a lot growing up. I was fat. I was from a divorced family. I couldn't say my R's. They had to teach me how to say my R's wrong before they can even start to teach me how to do it right. Man. So, like, I would say covet instead of cover. Right.
So I'm guessing that created like a social anxiety for you because you felt like everybody was gonna, you know what I'm saying, pick on you.
Yeah, and oddly enough, one of the things that actually like really helped me overcome like these social anxieties, kind of, was football. Right. Because I had to depend on the guy next to me. Right. I had, in practice, I had to know that the guy next to me had my back and I had his back. And even the guys on the other side of the ball, they're on my team, I still have their back. Right. So football really was a godsend. Right. You know. And back in California, I was too big to play with the 10-year-olds. So they had me play with the 11 and 12-year-olds. So there was that little social disconnect right there. I had nothing really in common with them.
Right. But you guys are on the same team.
Exactly.
So you depend on each other.
We were still wearing the same colors. You know, we still had to run the same set of stairs. We still had to run around the field, learn the plays.
And if anybody picked on you, you were on the football team, so they came and got you.
Exactly.
Stuff like that.
Exactly. And that's where, you know, I learned what a real brotherhood was. What it was like to, is like, yo, he's got my back. Right. You know, I got his back. I can say what's up to that guy, you know, and we'll be cool. You know, and I really grabbed onto that. You know, I hated the work that went into football.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
I still, till this day, when we talk about practices, I'm like, man, I don't want to go to practice. Like,
no, hell no.
No, but it just makes you better, man. Because like, you always gonna have to do something you don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, even till this day, I gotta go to work every day. I don't want to go to work, so it's just, you know what I'm saying. And
dude, there's days where I'm just like, the bed sounds really good right now.
Exactly, and that's where that mental comes in. Like you got to say your affirmations and get up out that bed. Mine, for me, the affirmation is money. I'm like, all right, if I want this money, I'm gonna get my ass out this
exactly.
bed. You know
and that's another big one right there too. Yeah. It was I could be depended on when it came to work. Right. They're always like, you know, come hell or high water, Will's gonna show up. He's gonna clock in. he's gonna do his job. When it's construction, it's like he's gonna do his job. He's not gonna do it well.
Right.
We're gonna need to help him a lot because construction just not connecting.
It's not mine. I don't do labor, man.
No.
I'm be real for everybody out there. I don't fuck with labor. I will not. I don't like getting dirty. I don't like lifting things unless it's the gym.
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
Oh, if I'm lifting weights, I'm good.
Yeah, but if you see me at construction, I tried to be an electrician. That lasted like a month. I was like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Oh,
I'm good.
Funny enough, when I got fired from Winter Farms because I had too many speeding tickets, go figure.
Yeah.
They're like, we can't insure you. Bye. We'll catch. I was like, I've been with the company for 3 years. Y'all gonna do me like that? Solo, once again, shout out to Solo. The man, the myth, the legend himself. He reached out to me. He's like, hey, I heard you need work. We're hiring at Tempest.
Tempest. So and you did that. How long did that last?
2 months. 2 months. And I'll tell you what. That's where I found out. I was like, no, this is not for me.
Yeah.
Nope.
You got to be different, bro. You got to be a different individual to do construction because some people, they don't have a choice.
Oh, no. Like some of the dudes I was talking, there was a dude who's like, yeah, I served about 5 years in Lompoc. I'm like, you were in Lompoc?
Like, they don't have a choice. Like, a lot of these people, they have felonies, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. They have to work that shit.
Yeah. Construction is pretty much the only one that will take you.
Or a truck driver, either or.
Truck driver.
They're not fun.
No, and like, I said that's what I found. I was like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
I hated some of the dudes I worked with.
Yeah, because they're dicks.
No.
And they talk to you crazy. So, like, I came from doing sales, and I'm like, sales, you can't say what, like, they say in construction. You can't say that shit. Like, you can't just be like, what the you can't do all that stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, when you get to construction, like, hey, motherfucker, like, what the fuck are you doing? You just like, who the hell you talking to? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like, it's like, you dumb piece of shit. You
know? Like, shit like that.
He's like, I told you twice already. Don't make me tell you again. And I'm like,
I'm good. I'm good off this. And that's, like, where that mental thing comes into. Because, like, when I was quitting jobs right and left as a kid. And then I started to learn, like, you can't just be quitting shit just because it gets hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everything you do is going to be hard. Even if you get done with something, it just gets harder.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The people who prosper in life or who are the people that take hard well. You know what I'm saying? Like that are better at doing harder things.
Yeah. And I don't want to sound ungrateful. I was so like, because I was fired. I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I got rent I gotta pay. I got a car payment. I got these things I gotta do. And Solo put his neck on the line for me. So I'm grateful forever to that man for, putting his reputation and neck on the line for a dude who straight up was not built for it.
Right. I mean, it happens. At least you knew, because if you didn't do it, you wouldn't know.
Yep. And so I don't want to sound like I'm ungrateful.
I mean, I wouldn't say you're ungrateful. I think you're just being real.
Yeah.
Like,
and I said I was running what I was saying in my head. I was like, that sounded kind of,
ungrateful.
Yeah, and
I feel you.
I want to at least clear that up. Like, I'm grateful for the work I had to do, that I was getting paid, that I was, once again, I showed up.
I feel you. At least you could be honest, man, because some people won't be honest about that stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And then I got the job at FedEx. I was back to delivering, just driving around, and that's where I was like, okay, I'm good at this. I know how to do this. This is something I'm good at.
Right.
And it's carried over to my job now.
See, like, my biggest thing, I have a problem with doing jobs that do not celebrate me. Because, like, I've done it all. I've done construction, and it was like I was promised a raise, and I didn't get it. I'm like, yep, no, that's not for me. I've done Amazon, and if you tell me I'm done with my route, and I have to help 2 motherfuckers before I get off work, I'm going to have a problem.
Oh, yeah, no, that's...
I was like, hell no,
no, that's bullshit.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm good. So then... But I know how to sell. I've been selling shit since I was a kid. I used to get candy bars and sell them at school and get in trouble. Like, I've always been that kid. I just knew how to hustle, so I just do sales. Like, and that's why I do, like, recruiting. I'm like, I'm good at this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So,
when you find what you're good at, and that also helps a lot with the identity part of mental health.
Right.
Knowing who you are. Knowing who you are is a lot of knowing what you want.
Exactly.
For years and years, I was so afraid to ask myself 2 questions.
What's that?
Who am I, and what do I want?
But, like, how do you know that answer?
that took a long time to
That's
figure
what
out.
I'm wondering.
That took some time to figure out. I was so afraid to ask those questions of myself because I did not know. And me growing up, I'm not like a super genius, you know, but I'm smart. I can figure things out. I can work problems. Get on the football field. I love that stuff. You know, it's like, how can I make these routes work and beat the defense I see in front of me? I'm not stupid by any stretch of the imagination, but especially back in my early 20s, when I was so insecure and all these other things, I was so afraid to ask that question because it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that was a question that was an answer that was never acceptable to me. And especially in the house where my adopted family was, I don't know really wasn't a safe answer, you know?
Right.
It wasn't that they would deride you or run you down like, you idiot, you're stupid and all that stuff. But if you said, I don't know, it was just like, how do you not know? You're smart.
I feel like people don't like. That's a question because you gotta live to know who you are. You know what I'm saying?
And that's exactly like my brain at that time, even into my early 30s. My brain at that time was not ready for that question to answer those questions.
I don't think anybody's brain is ready.
No,
because that's gonna change every day, man. Like even me, I think I know who I am, and then I always want to do something new every day. Every day I want to travel. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to be the best salesman at work. I want to do this. Like, so it always changes. I never know. I still don't know who I am to this day.
Yeah.
But I know what I can provide.
Exactly. And it is a process. I'm more confident now in saying who I am and what I want. You know, I'm still not 100% sure on both of those, but I don't think we're supposed to.
Right.
You know, I think that is the daily affirmation, you know, like, I'm now more confident in like who I am and what I want. Do I still know? Kind of, sort of. We're still working on it.
Yeah.
But
I feel like, honestly, man, I wouldn't say we should know who we are as people. I think that we should just be good people in general.
Absolutely.
The goal is to, you know what I'm saying, better ourselves, be better human beings, love each other, and move forward with life every day.
Yep.
I feel like, you know, because that answer of like, who am I? Nobody really knows who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And yes, I agree. I agree. 100%. I don't know who I am.
No.
You know? But I do know what I want, and this answer is so simple. It's like, I don't want to be where I was before.
Exactly.
So I do. Ever since I was basically, you know, whiplashed into looking to the right direction of my life, I can now sit here and be like, I may not know what I want immediately or in the future, but I know exactly what I don't want, and that's where I was.
Exactly.
So I can answer that confidently.
So I mean, as far as today, how can you answer that question? Like, who is Will today?
Will today is one very tired.
Okay.
Because
me too.
Long time on the road today, going to Park City.
Right.
But Will is a man who's madly in love with a woman, who is loving the 3 little kids that are not his, is proud of where he is. You know, you would have asked me 2 years ago if I was going to be in the spot, I would have said no. I would have said hell no.
Right. I think that's dope that you can answer that, because even today I still can't answer it. I can't tell you who I am, like, to this day. And I don't know if it's because I'm young or I honestly just don't think about it. I don't go through life like that, like thinking like, who am I? You know?
And that's, you know, and that's the quest. You know?
Well, because it's like how you said, like, us as men, we're so focused on providing and doing stuff. So, like, I don't get caught up in, like, who am I? You know, like, I mostly get caught up in, like, I can provide. I'm going to go to work today because I got a kid. I got to do this. I got to do that. Like, that's where my head mostly is. And I don't know if it's just because that's just the human in me or if it's just like I try to keep myself busy so I don't think about stuff too much, you know?
Okay. No, and I see I see and understand that, you know, because you're right. Like, you got a baby boy you got to take care of. You got a girl you got to, like, you got all these things that you got to do.
Right.
You know, and sometimes it gets hard, almost damn near impossible, for you to sit there and be like, well, who am I?
Right. Because it's not just about me anymore. You know.
Yeah, you have, like, I'm now in that position too. I have to provide.
Right.
You have to provide, and you know, does that make that who we are? Kind of.
Yeah.
But you know, like the Zay I knew back when we played on the UTFL Warriors. I still got that jersey, by the way.
Me too.
I
got all of them.
got.
I still got them all up in the hamper.
I wish I would have kept. I wish I would have kept my Rev jersey.
I still got all those too. Don't tell D Lynch, but yeah, I still got all those too.
Nah, don't.
So I mean, what do you want people to take from this podcast session?
You know, life is a journey, and finding out who you are is a big part of that. When you know who you are, or at least have a decent idea of who you are, you'll be in a much better headspace than you've been before. You know, it may not be daily affirmations, positive affirmations. It may be something small or something that makes you fulfilled, just a little bit. That way you can figure out who you want to be and where and what you want.
Hey man, and that's all that we got for today. I hope you guys are minding your business, drinking water, and listening to the Inspired Empire podcast, man. Peace.